No three putting in the chat. Raptors are way better without Ingram. Yes, that is game 5 of the biggest series they've played in years. And I'm going to say this so everyone can hear. Turn it up. His ass better be out Friday. I don't want to see it. I want to see that guy in street clothes with Quickly on Friday. Let the adults in the room handle it. He wants no part of this. I don't need to see him. If the Raptors are going to go down in the series, and they might, let the people who are committed and pot committed and also playing injured go out there and represent the city. I don't need that garbage anymore. I don't know what this guy's about, but I'm done with it for at least a series. If you miss a game of that caliber last night that quickly for inflammation, not a strain, not a tweak, inflammation, game 5 of a series tied at 2, you better be hurt. I don't want to see his ass in the building on Friday. If he shows up and plays Friday, we got a problem. We got a big problem because that guy quit last night. He had a terrible turnover. He couldn't hit a shot, and he just walked off. You saw it, and I saw it. I am not sitting here and coddling Ingram today. That is pathetic what he did last night, and he better not play Friday for him to pull that act yesterday. He better be hurt. He better be hurt. Because you know who was? Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes was hurt last night. I'd rather lose with the other guys than try and act like I'm competitive with Brandon Ingram. That was pathetic. He quit on the team last night, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it.
Welcome back, The Last Word, where we keep it honest, break down the numbers, and talk about the stories nobody wants to face. Today's the spotlight is on, I don't want to say it, Karen, but the story's on Brandon Ingram and the rough postseason run he's having with the Toronto Raptors against the Cleveland Cavaliers. In this series, where Toronto needed star-level production, Ingram struggled badly. And guess what? He's only averaging just 12 points per game, shooting 32% from the field across 5 games before being sidelined. Now get this, with right heel inflammation. Yes. There was a bright moment, I believe it was game 4, where he had a 23-point performance, adding 6 rebounds and 2 blocks in a huge game for the Raptors. But overall, his consistency never came. This is a player who averaged 21.5 points per game in the regular season, became a first-time All-Star, yet he looked out of rhythm when the lights got brightest. So the big question is, was this just simply injury-related? Was Cleveland's defense just too much for him? Or what do you think Toronto should do with Brandon Ingram? Should we just keep him out this series? Should we try to insert him in? What does Toronto do from here?
It's a tough one. And again, like you heard what Sid said about BI and rightfully so. He has struggled this playoff series, and to have that precipitative of a drop off in terms of points, you're looking like almost 10 points per game drop off here. And yeah, he was a crucial element of bringing the Raptors to this point. But we all know as basketball fans, regular season basketball and playoff basketball are 2 entirely different games, completely different games, right? Regular season, you're going to get teams playing falling into different situations. Maybe they're playing 3 and 4 nights, where coming into town, late game, and hey, you're not going to get the same effort. Across the boards, teams don't play the same type of defense, or barely any defense in the regular season. Mm-hmm. So certain teams look so outstanding if you do even play defense. But the playoffs show you who you really are. We've seen this playoffs. Take a look over in the Denver series. You saw Jaden McDaniel step up, call people out, go on the court, and step up and show what he was about. Unfortunately, Brandon Ingram may be a player that game is not conducive to the playoff. And we all know with his easygoing demeanor, his laid-back attitude. No, I don't even know if I want to say attitude, but how he comes across is very laid back, easygoing, and that's not going to cut it in the playoffs when the dogs are out.
Well, okay, rightly so, well said. Now, I would definitely take that into consideration about the playoffs. But previously to Toronto, he's played in 10 playoff games, 2-8 record with New Orleans, and he averaged 21.9 points per game with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. And even at one point, his best playoff performance came in 2022, where he was averaging 27 points against the Suns. So Brandon Ingram has shown he can produce in the playoffs. But over time, like you said, injuries happen. And I don't know, maybe this moment is too big for him, because don't get it twisted, Toronto is a hard city to play in. That fan base, they will ask for blood. They are, they really are into 100%. They want all our players to give it their all. And right now, it doesn't seem like Brandon Ingram, with these injuries, are giving it his all, or he's not putting forth 100% effort. He is getting rattled.
There. Yes, there's again, he is hurt.
He is
right?
hurt.
To what level? Who knows? Right? Like only he knows, right? But it kept him out of the last game, the Friday night game. So he's hurt to some extent. It's going to be interesting to see if he is available for Game 7.
Let me ask you this.
But Sid was right. Sid said this prior to the Game 6. He said he doesn't want to see him on the floor. A little rough. And again, if I was Brandon Ingram, you'd feel away, because hey, I helped
get us here.
All-star player on this team, and I greatly contributed to getting this team into this position.
You said
unfortunately, my game has
playoffs is a different animal. Playoffs is a different animal.
It is. And you know what? Again, playoffs.
Maybe his style of play is just not conducive to it. I don't know.
Effort, determination, and so often it's the players that you wouldn't or typically don't shine in regular season that have these breakout playoff performances, because it does just come down to defense, effort, and a willingness to impose your will on your opponent.
Now,
and certain guys are just built for that.
We're going to Game 7 with Toronto Raptors. Cleveland Cavaliers players are not really answering the call. You got James Harden, you got Mitchell, Allen, Mobley. I mean, realistically, if you really look at the players, you compare them. Toronto should really not be where we are right now. Like, some may say that we're overachieving, and if we're overachieving, how are we doing it without our best player?
So to me, just to again get to, I guess, stay on track here. What would you do? You're the head coach of the Raptors. Game 7. Brandon Ingram is available. Let's say he's available to play. What are you doing?
It's simple.
What are you doing?
You don't make the mistake that the Philadelphia 76ers did when Joel Embiid first came back for that game. What you do with Brandon Ingram, you're going to have to play the battle role. You're coming off the bench. You're going to have to be like a Vinnie Johnson back in the days, Detroit Piston. Try to heat things up quickly. If you don't get it going quickly, we're going to have to pull you out the game and let those guys who are battle tested or willing to put everything on the line, let's get them on the court. Because guess what? Brandon Ingram can get it going on. If I were the coach, I'd say simple. Brandon, you're going to come off the bench and you're going to play in the post. You're not going to be taking those fadeaway jump shots. We're going to try to get you going. High percentage shots. Put them down by the rim and see if we can get it going that way. That's the only plan.
195-pound Brandon Ingram in the block.
Like, come on. Look, can you see it? Look at him. He's shook to take shots. He's only shooting 12 points per game in this series off 32% field goals. He's shook. Something's going on mentally with him. And I think easy, high percentage shots help him get into a rhythm, see if his game can expand, and then insert him back into the starting lineup if he shows that he's willing to put it all on the line like we're hoping he will.
Uh,
What would you
only
do
thing,
if you were the
my
coach?
my one little pushback to your option there is, if the Raptors do win, right, and then now you're looking at another series where you're gonna obviously want Brandon Ingram in the fold, right, moving forward. Um, do you not risk the potentially alienating, um, losing this talented guy going forward if you bench him and not bring him back into the fold,
How are you?
into his
He's
normal
under
starting
contract.
position
He's
right
under
away?
contract, I believe, for another 2 years, right? So
Mhm.
I don't believe you're gonna lose him, and I think that
You
other
could
people
very
around the
well to the
league,
next series.
other people,
Say you play him in that role that you've laid out, a
right,
bench player,
right,
minimum role,
right.
battle role. Come in if he gets going, you keep him out. If he doesn't, right back to the bench. You're telling me that there's not a possibility of losing him if you guys move forward, say into a series against Detroit or Orlando. You don't see the potential of Brandon Ingram maybe kind
Demanding a
of
trade?
not demanding it. I'm not talking about it's he no come on, not trade, but maybe wandering or not putting that same effort in. Because
Well,
hey, you guys don't view me as a guy that is a main part of this team, or you don't believe in me. That you
here,
could lose him. You could lose his focus for
you
that
could lose
series.
his focus, but that's on him. And the league will expose him. And I don't think he's ready for that because his contract is up in 2 years. And if he wants another big contract, he's going to have to get his head right. Around
Yeah,
the
but
league, when
come
he
on. In
said, oh, when
2 years, come on. We've watched James Harden play the contract game for years and years now. We
yeah,
understand. As long as you show up for the last season or right in before your contract expires, that's all that matters. Teams will see that's what you're about, and more than willingly throw money at you or take a risk.
well,
So years out, come on.
well, guess what?
That's not even a thought.
To
He
be
can go
honest,
on. He can
to
go on cruise control for 2 years.
to address what you're saying, yes, you could lose him because right now you could see he's already lost in the playoff. He just
Yeah, but
he
now
can
this can be
he's,
attributed to health potentially, and obviously the level of competition that goes up and not necessarily being ready for that, and if your body's not ready for it as well.
You know, I was watching Nightcap and, ISO Joe, he was talking some facts, man. He was saying, you got to find a way, some other ways. You can't just expect to be dominant in one way. You got to be versatile. You got to find another way to contribute to the team. So if you're an all-star, Eastern Conference all-star for the very first time, you've been in the league for over 10 years. You know what it takes to win. So you've got to find ways to
Does he?
contribute to winning.
Does he? Does he?
Right now, no.
A
Right
lot of
now,
players don't know what it takes to win, and
hey,
that's why the men are separated from the boys in the playoffs. Because and so often it is that experience that allows you to overcome teams. You
and
can
that's
look at the Lakers, right? And the build what LeBron can draw on so often to just overwhelm a team like Houston. This is something again. Hopefully, maybe this is the launching pad for Brandon Ingram, getting some of that knowledge, those reps to hopefully be able to. But you look over and you see a guy like CMB who understands right away what it takes and the effort and the energy you got to put in to compete on
so
this level. So maybe it's just something that's not within him. So
let's
it's going to
let,
be interesting.
he's
It's going to be
29 years
interesting.
of age, over 10 years in the league. If you don't have it right by now, when will you get it right? That's the question, Karen. Is it in him?
That's a valid point too, right? Because he isn't a young player in the league.
He's not.
Young
He's a
in
veteran.
life, right? 27, 28 years old, but he's had, like you said, 9 years, 10 years in this league. And sometimes certain habits are now just not going to be able to be quickly
You can't break those habits.
revamped or
You know,
renewed or changed, right?
you can't change those
He's been in
habits.
New Orleans for a long time. He was with the losing Lakers. A lot of bad habits, unfortunately, have been built within his game, and I'm sure.
Well,
But
let's not kill him. Let's not put him down. Let's give him a chance.
it's not about killing him. It's just, again, if you're in certain environments, those things are going to tend to through osmosis, right? You're going to take on some of these things, like it or not.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're strong enough to push, keep the the questionable qualities away from you, but it's understandable. And he's gonna potentially have an opportunity to come out and maybe change the narrative. But from what we've seen so far,
Not looking good.
I don't know if I'm a believer of that happening.
Well, Brandon Ingram. So, okay, let me ask you this moving forward, Karen, because when we were watching First Take, New York Knicks down a couple of games to Atlanta, they're calling for changes in personnel and the roster and head office. Seeing what we're seeing now, these boys are overachieving. And we both agree on that. They're not playing without their starting point guard. They're not playing with their all-star, potentially best player in Brandon Ingram. And RJ Barrett's been frequently injured over the last little while. Seeing what you're seeing and how they're overachieving, do you think that we keep this core together, or do you think that we move some pieces in order to fill some missing holes?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny. It's funny you bring this up because I was actually just having a little back and forth, a conversation with somebody in regards to this, and my thought was merely, RJ has one more year. He's gonna need to be re-signed, and that's
Okay.
upwards of $30 million a year. Brandon's already at 40. We got Jakob's contract going up to the 27s or so million a year. Quickly's locked in for 32 or so a year. Quickly and Jakob have little to no value in the league. You're not going to be able to trade them unless you're adding on picks with them. Scotty ain't going nowhere. So you're looking at either it's going to come down, unfortunately, most likely to BI or RJ.
Okay.
Do you move BI and re-sign RJ, or do you just move RJ this coming year and go forward with that? I don't know. They're gonna and the way RJ is playing in the playoffs, that's gonna make it even harder for the Raptors to think about moving him and not re-signing him. And the way BI is playing in the playoffs, right, is gonna make it. It's gonna be a very. This is why the GMs get paid the top dollars and are so crucial to a good organization, because it's these decisions that can set your franchise back for years to come or propel it. And it's going to be interesting to see what Webster, who I don't think should be making that decision, never mind how the organization is going to handle that going forward, especially RJ being a hometown guy too, adding that much more pressure to re-signing him. So it's going to be an interesting one. And they have holes to fill, never mind. A lack of big man, lack of size, lack of shooting, maybe potentially shooting. A point guard would be nice as well. So there's holes on this team. But there's decisions that are going to need to be made as well.
We've been Raptors faithful for the longest time, since the conception of the team. Now, I'm going to ask you this question because you have a lot of knowledge. And you know what it takes to win in this league. If you had the opportunity to be the general manager and you had to fool around with the roster and you had the opportunity to, make those decisions like you're just discussing, are you moving RJ or are you moving BI?
Oh, man. I would lean to moving BI with the understanding that I could potentially get more for him. RJ, again, I think RJ's built for clutch time in games in terms of his physicality, his approach to attacking the rim. He's a hometown guy as well. Toronto guy, so there's also some built-in notoriety there, and some just that hometown marketing appeal with having him attached to the team. But I think it would be tough because Ingram, regular season, Brandon Ingram, what he can bring for your team is again all-star level. But I think you could fill a few more holes by trading him as well. Potentially getting a starting level big man, or a guy who could on this team be a starting big man, and potentially some depth.
Yeah.
If not, maybe a pick too.
Yeah.
So that's the route I would personally go. But I could understand going the other direction as well, because RJ's expiring contract is going to be a valuable item as well. That 30-something million dollars, a team would love to take that on and be able to clear up cap space on
cap space on the team.
So either way could be understandable, but that's the way I would lean.
I would actually go the RJ way and try to I think the Raptors bench has a lot of length, which would create, and you can see during these playoffs, we're creating a lot of mismatch for Cleveland's backcourt. We are doing a great job defensively against James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. So
we have Raptors have decent guard size, defensive ability. But again, now Brandon Ingram, unfortunately, is very far from a great defender. Has good length, but his motor and his defensive effort is questionable at times, to say the least. They need a guy at the rim, and Jakob is not it. You need a real presence in there.